All right, folks, good evening. It's another Friday, and welcome to Journalist Hangout. I am Citizen Jones Hussein. Today on the program, despite widespread darkness, government approves a hike in electricity tariff, and later on the show, Delta State, we understand, are to spend, or rather is to spend 150 billion naira. It's a bridging finance on key projects and pension payments. I'm hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju, the man they know simply as BKO. Jide, I greet you. Good evening.
Good evening.
And we should be joined very shortly by Mojeed Jamiu. We make way for him when he comes here. Okay, so the team is ready. I hope you are. Okay, now let's go. You know, rather unfortunately, my country, your country, has become extremely wicked and filled with perversion. Bestiality appears to have become real before our eyes, making you think you are watching a poorly produced horror film. The Nigeria police is on the trail of some people who pay women to have sex with their dogs in Lagos State. And of course, the false image maker CSP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, who made the revelation in Abuja, described the development as barbaric, adding that the offense was punishable under the law. The dragnet, he concluded, will be extended to owners of the dogs in question. Our trouble here is that genuine dog owners risk walking their dogs, Jide.
Yes, I will be very happy to hear that some of the individuals involved in this show of shame have been caught. The people who offered money for women to give anal sex to their dogs, they need to be apprehended. The women who debased womanhood, who turned themselves to beasts by allowing dogs to have anal sex with them, those women too need to be arrested. And I would be very, very happy if the police can get to the root of this matter. You know, these are the kind of happenstances that define the police, that show to us whether or not we have a police that we can indeed be proud of.
And a policing system that ensures
delivers.
That, yeah.
You know, so I want to see the police prove us wrong. Let them be able to get hold of these individuals and bring them to court to serve as a deterrent to others. We have not degenerated to the level of beasts,
yeah,
for God's sake.
But here an argument.
And God did not design sex to be between man and woman.
It should be Adam and Eve.
Yes, that is man and woman. Mm. He did not even design it for men, for man and man.
Yeah.
Just that the same way he did not design it for women and women, women against women.
Yeah.
Man on man sex is not God's design.
Yeah, it's against natural laws.
It's against natural law. And the foolishness of it all is that the same people who do not see anything wrong in man on man sex, they now would want to adopt children. So if other people are choosing,
it pleases them to own children.
Yes, children that they can call their own.
Yeah,
you know, whereas they cannot procreate.
Yeah,
when a man decides to keep another man as his wife, and they sleep with one another, they cannot procreate.
There's such a crazy thing in our environment known as the new normal. And so you are asking, when did it become normal? When did it become new? So are we saying the social media is bringing all these things to the fore? Some people are saying it had always been there, right or wrong, debatable.
Well, it is true that it had been there for so long. I don't know whether it is right to say it had always been there, because if we say it had always been there, we are saying that from the beginning of time. So that literally speaking, if we say it had always been there, that means it's been there for as long as...
Yeah, the logic is simple, and it's because it is against the law.
Yes.
And the law didn't just come yesterday.
I'm heading somewhere. Now, the social media is like alcohol. Alcohol stimulates desire. If you, for example, had the plan to talk to a woman, once you drench yourself in alcohol, you became bolder.
Yeah.
So that's why Shakespeare said alcohol stimulates desire. Now, social media helps to bring out those things that had been there. It merely helps to promote those things.
That's it.
Man-on-man sex had always been there, but I can bet that I've been there for so long, not always been there. I've been there for so long, but I can bet that some people had never seen it before. But if they went to adult sites dedicated to men, beasts like them, they will see such videos. So that's what I'm saying, that social media has only come to amplify those things that we would not even want to talk about in the open.
Okay.
So social media has come to present to us in bold relief those things that we would rather talk about in hushed tones.
Yeah, that's
so
it.
So this is the reality. Now you see an apparently deranged young girl coming out to say, yes, I slept with a dog. What is wrong about that? I didn't kill anybody. Oh, you have seen 1.7 million before. Yeah. Because you wanted to trend. You wanted to become popular. Now it has backfired. The idiot is busy apologizing now. She has ruined herself.
Apologize to who?
Apologizing to people that they should forgive her, that she was only catching cruise, that she was just having fun. But a lot of people will not believe. Though indeed that video was not hers, because their complexions do not match. But how many people do you have to explain to that this stupid girl was not the one in the video?
Come on.
You mean you cannot? Social media, the abuse of social media is one reason more and more people are calling for it to be regulated. Yes, that we cannot. Look, how can an individual just come out and say, look, I slept with a dog, and you knew you didn't do it? Yes. You're sending yourself to jail. Yeah. I'm still waiting for them to get hold of this girl, because they can't. Our video is everywhere, our picture is everywhere. So the police should do.
Look at the flip side. The flip side is that there are men who own dogs, and the dogs are in this business. And as you said, you want the police to go to nail it.
Yes, we've got to arrest such people. When I was in Kano, there was a story of that we read of a foreigner who was enticing young guests to come and sleep with his dogs. They record those things. They don't even plan to show them in Nigeria. The plan was not to show those videos in Nigeria, but outside of our country, you know. So invariably, I think the guy was arrested. Yes, he was arrested. I think it was an Asian was arrested, but we do not know how the matter ended up, because in our country, so much noise will be made when somebody is arrested. Oh, arrested for the, but that's usually the end of the story. When the police discover sometime that, oh, the matter did not happen as we thought it happened, they are not going to explain to anyone. It just ends there. So how that guy eventually, whether maybe he was just simply deported, we didn't get the end of the story. We only saw the beginning of the story.
But I have a little trouble here. As I said in the opener, dog owners will be in for some long nights, because if you are if a Jide is quietly walking his dog down the street, he could be flagged down.
Why?
Why? The police is doing its job.
No, they are not saying we should not go around. It is the owners of the dogs that are sleeping with women that will be in trouble. So both the dogs and the owners will be arrested. You understand? If I'm walking my dog, it's a normal thing. If you are a dog breeder, you must dedicate time to walk your dog.
I have an update on Mojeed Jamiu, who is supposed to join us here. I hear he has issues with the police as we speak.
Again? Maybe he was over speeding or something.
I don't know. The producer has just told me, so I'm wondering what the wahala is. Mojeed, if you are watching, we'll be interested in that story as well. I'm sorry about that.
I hope he didn't crash his car against another person's car.
You hope what?
I said, I hope he didn't crash his car against someone else's car.
I hope not. The police is...
see, people walking their dogs, they've not committed any crime.
No, I know, but
in fact, you need to do that for the sake of the dog. It's not, you can't just keep your dog tethered somewhere for too long. They need to be given a walk.
Mojeed, can you hear us? I hear it is possible to speak with Mojeed and understand what the problem is. Mojeed, can you hear us?
What's your issue with the police?
What's the nature of the problem? Again, we wait. Yeah, okay.
What's going on?
Mojeed, what's the problem, please? You are on air. We can see you. You are on air. Is it a laughing matter? Share the laughter with us. I don't think Mojeed is paying heed. Mojeed can't hear us. Okay. As soon as you are ready, we'll take you. So a man is walking his dog. The police is trying to unearth the men who set their dogs into this pervasive thing. You don't think a man walking a dog is a likely suspect?
No.
Until you...
These things happen behind closed doors.
Walking the dog is not to...
No. When you walk your dog...
So you don't walk such dogs?
No. You can walk such dogs. But you can't simply arrest a man or pull someone in because he's walking his dog. In fact, it's your responsibility as a dog owner to give it a walk. One, it helps to sharpen, reduce their nails.
Okay.
So you don't need to cut their nails regularly. Once you make a dog walk regularly, the nails will never grow long. So it's your responsibility. Then they also need to exercise. You can't keep them tied at one spot for too long. That's hurting the animal. That's animal cruelty. So walking your dog is not a crime. But what is a crime is getting a room somewhere, keeping your dog there, and supplying your dog with women that your dog can then have anal sex with. That is what should hand you 14 years imprisonment. And I want to see the Nigerian police make an example of one or two individuals. It just makes sense to do that.
I can't wait to see the dog who is causing all this wahala and the man who is setting such a dog on this shameless
women.
Shameful act, in my country. Crazy. I hope it is not part of the so-called new normal.
No, whatever is abnormal is abnormal. There is no such thing as a new normal.
Okay.
The world will always be involved in a conflict between unrighteousness and righteousness.
Oh, yeah. And as Malcolm X would say, what's wrong is wrong, what's right is right.
Yes.
This is a no-no for us. It's a no-no. It is not us. It is not us. All right. About a democracy where women do not only have a right to vote and elect, but to be elected. I'm reminded in this connection of the late Baroness Margaret Thatcher, the Iron Lady. She quipped, if you want something said, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman. Now, the ruling All Progressive Congress APC has got its first female presidential hopeful. She is a barrister at law, Uju Kennedy Ohaneye. According to the trailblazing and daring mother, this is what she said: "I know that men would want to muscle me out, but I am standing firmly for the people I am here to protect. I can't be intimidated." But let's also let you know that women, people who are physically challenged, and youth will pay 50% of the cost of the forms. So we have a female presidential hopeful. She's here.
Yes.
So it's a challenge to the women folk across the country.
Yes, I hope that they will support her. Because I remember when Sarah Jibrin contested against Obasanjo. It was like Sarah Jibrin was the only person who voted for herself.
She scored only one vote.
Yes,
yeah.
so she probably voted for herself. And no one else thought. And the whole area was packed full of women. But the women rejected one of their own. So I just hope that Uju will get some support from the women folk, because the women folk have been very influential in mobilizing support for political parties. So there's no reason why one of them will be in the race and they will not give her support. What I'm particularly shocked about is the rate at which people are buying the form of the APC, contesting. I mean, saying
I hear they are up to 20 now.
Yes, I'm trying to. In fact, at the last count, the party would have made 19 billion if things go on this way.
19 billion?
Because 13 presidential candidates and aspirants, 13 as presidential aspirants come to 1.3 billion.
Yeah.
Now, 50 million by 95. That is for gubernatorial candidates. The projection.
Okay.
95 across the states will come to 4.7 billion. Then 20 million for 241 senatorial candidates.
Okay.
241 senatorial candidates. Again, projected will come to 4.8 billion. Then 10 million for 821 House of Reps members. Again, projected because every constituency will have aspirants. I know that in some cases, or maybe up to 5 or 10, as the case may be. 8.2 billion.
And each must
8.2 billion coming from reps alone. No, you've got to pay. Everyone will pay. So 8.2 billion. If 821 across the states, the 36 states.
Yeah, 8.2.
8.2 billion is what you have. So a total of 19 billion
would have been raked
projected as at, both projected and actual, as at the 5th of May. 19 billion is what we are looking at that the APC will have raked from this expression of interest and nomination form. So Uju Ohaneye has also paid for the expression of interest form. Sorry,
no vex. No be Ohaneye. You didn't say na Yoruba. Ohaneye.
Ohaneye. You have Igbo blood.
No, don't go to court. Yeah,
you have Igbo blood.
So, but it's a first for her, and we can only hope that women will be.
We hope that she won't be the last. And we want to see even from the PDP. We would like to see women also step forward. After all, the PDP nomination form is not as expensive as that of the APC. But what is really driving that of the APC, there is a game There's a game that is going on, but that game will be clear to Nigerians soon. This, everybody buying 100 million naira form is not normal. It's thoroughly abnormal. We've never seen anything like this. And I can tell you, Citizen Jones, before the deadline slams shut, we could be looking at like 30 persons.
Jide, but I'm surprised to hear
Between
this from
Wednesday
you.
I'm
surprised to hear this from you.
Yes.
Your governor is in the race, so he has paid 100 million.
Yes.
My governor is in the race, has paid 100 million for the form.
No. Your governor is, your former governor.
No. Udom.
Udom is in PDP, and their own is 40 million. Their own is
no. I'm just talking about the forms.
So you said he paid 100 million.
What could be abnormal about that?
To pay 100 million.
Yes.
And we're having this crowd. Because what they told us was they wanted to use they hiked the fee to bring down the number of people who will contest. You understand? Have they achieved that aim now? We could be looking at the most contested APC presidential primaries of all time. Because during Buhari's time, only 5 persons contested.
Yeah.
Now, between Wednesday last week and yesterday, about 10 persons had joined the race. 10 persons who were not there joined the race. This is really abnormal. It's not, and because the money, look, I can tell you that it's public funds that we are largely recycling and round tripping in the name of paying for nomination forms. How many people will use their own hard-hand money when you are not sure of winning?
I'm not an accountant, but Jide, I can tell you this country is not poor.
This country
is not poor. Not a poor country.
Well,
debatable.
The way we are borrowing money, like the world wants to come to an end, you cannot say that we are rich. What is the size of our budget? Even some African countries, in terms of size of budget, their budget is bigger than Nigeria. We deceive ourselves so much. What do we earn? Oil is our biggest earner.
Yeah.
What we earn from oil in a whole year is not up to what Bill Gates makes in 1 year. Our country.
Of course, you can make excuses for that. Theft and pipeline vandalization.
No. Let's even look at. Let's use the OPEC quota.
Yeah.
Because you are not expected to do more than your OPEC quota. You can use the OPEC quota to imagine, okay, what Nigeria will earn in a year from crude oil sales. Is not going to be more than what maybe Walmart,
I think
Walmart makes in a year. That's a whole country bounced against a company in the US. So it's not we are borrowing money up and down. We are servicing loans with more than 90% of our revenue, and we still think we are so rich.
But again, the man who borrows you money knows that you have what it takes to pay.
You will have what it pay. If you have what it takes to pay, why were we begging all over the place for them for debt forgiveness? And Obasanjo had to get them to forgive our debts, and we celebrated debt forgiveness that much. The capacity to pay is shrinking. Let's smell the coffee. Let's wake up and smell the coffee. Even the capacity to pay is shrinking. A time will come when we will be borrowing money to pay this debt. If we don't stop this unrestrained hunger to borrow money, that's what will happen.
Except that Barrister Uju is where we started from. She's about the first female presidential hopeful under the APC. So she's here. I think we challenge all women. This is your opportunity. This is your finest moment. Go for it. I cannot wait to see, Jide, I can't wait to see the first female president in Nigeria.
I long for that day. I hope that day will come, and I believe the women will do a better job than the men.
Establish contact with Mojeed Jamiu. Mojeed, good evening one more time.
Yeah, good evening, Cecilia Jones.
Yeah, but quickly, can you tell us what it was, you and the men of the police?
Yeah, the policemen were controlling traffic. I mean, there's a mad traffic between Odoyalaro in Maryland and Ojota. It's like everything has broken down, and there were about 6 lanes where we are supposed to have about 3. So
Yeah.
it was like so everybody had to just drive anyhow. So they were just dumping in front of vehicles. I mean, saying that you are not supposed to be on so lane or the other. So I told them I'm on a live program with TVC. But when they had TVC, of course, he wanted to be sure that I'm actually on that live program. So at the end, after about 2 minutes, he said I should go.
Okay.
So where are you now?
Well, so where are you at now?
Well, just approaching Ojota in a journey that should, I mean, a 4-kilometer journey from GRA in Ikeja, for 4.7 kilometers actually, between GRA and TVC. Google Map is projecting that I'll spend, at a point it was just 20 minutes. I set out 3:45, and now it's still telling me I will arrive TVC at 5:45. So that's why I had to tell the producer that we should try the Zoom option, the Zoom link option.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just approaching Ojota now, and I don't know, probably because today is Friday, and coupled with the early morning rain, it's like a bedlam. And I think today is the first Friday. Is it the first Friday of the month? Yes.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, there are some
the first Friday, yeah.
Yeah, there are some peculiarities. You won't know what happened. It's been like that since morning, and it's like we are progressing at a snail speed.
Well, we're sorry about that, Mojeed. It's one of the hazards of the job, and the journalists will expect anything, anytime, anywhere. I think so. All right, folks, welcome. You know, in our country, Nigeria, there appears to be an unwritten rule which has become law, so to speak. This is what, when things go up, they hardly come down. Now, hear this. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, has got the nod of government to jack up electricity tariff despite the darkness that consumers had put up with. 6 of the 11 distribution companies, or DISCOs, had the approval to increase tariff rates since February this year. Now, the hike became effected without consumers' notice, and NERC is explained of the hike considering the increase in performance of improvement plans of the DISCOs. This is in addition to gas price, inflation, exchange rates, and so on and so on. But let me report quickly. We are joined by Effiong Eko, our colleague. Effiong, I greet you.
I greet you too.
You still use electricity?
I do.
Do you by any chance know the tariffs are up? Because many Nigerians may not.
I know that the tariffs,
okay,
they are up. They are up.
And the NERC is defending it.
You see, this electricity issue, it is like something that we have been paying lip services to the sector, whereas we have abundant resources which would have enabled us to have 24-hour supply of electricity. I believe that in Nigeria, it is possible that we have the supply of electricity for 24 hours. Ask me why. The resources available for this are uncountable.
At the moment, we are going hydro, thermal. What again?
Let me say, some time ago, I had a discussion with an Indian engineer, and I asked him, we discussed about water. You know that Atlantic water surrounds about 6-7 states in the southern part of the country.
Okay.
And he was, saying that it is possible we tip up this Atlantic water in different states and get electricity, which is true.
Okay.
Keep that aside. Talk about the free source of energy, that's sunlight.
Solar.
Which comes now generate solar electricity. The whole of North Central up to Northeast, Northwest, I think the majority of the households and smaller businesses, they have no need to wait for electricity from the national grid because solar panels would have supplied this one. Now, how do we do?
Sorry, what about wind energy?
Just I'm taking one after the other.
Okay.
Wind energy, you also have it up there in the north. Then you have oil and gas down here in the south. South. Let's talk about the wastage of this free energy supply. That's sunlight, solar, which would have helped so many households. What stops us? We know that solar panels, they come from Japan, Germany, Italy, those developed economies. If we do not have indigenous technology to give us this, why can't we get to any of these nations? We invite one or two companies, come down here. What does it take to set up a solar company? And then, you see, currently, Nigerians, they buy what they call, I better pass my neighbor. I don't know the price. Is it 50, 60,000?
Depending on the capacity.
That's it. Now, you mandate this type of companies must produce solar panels to the equivalent of this I better pass my neighbor capacity so that households will be able to use little amounts.
The whole world is thinking tomorrow, today.
Yes.
Shifting from what do you this
renewable
energy. You see, knowing the right things to do and not doing them is a form of cowardice. I can't imagine.
It's a form of bad leadership, not just cowardice. Or is it cowardice?
It is.
Because you people are the ones who pronounce.
Come on.
So it's terrible that we are suffering in the midst of plenty.
Yes.
We can't continue to suffer.
Based on the choices we make.
Yes, because your choices will determine whether you progress. Whether you take that giant step. The Chinese came up with the idea of the giant leap. When you talk about taking the giant step, the Chinese said, we are taking the giant leap.
Yeah.
You know, so your choices will determine whether it is the giant step that you want to take or you want to even continue to regress.
Yeah.
You know, we don't want to see regression. But bad leadership will sometimes make regression inevitable. Because bad leadership does not demonstrate vision. You know? Except tunnel vision. And tunnel vision is not what anyone wants to see. You know?
I'm told that you don't take decisions based on the fear of what might happen.
No, you see, certain decisions will hurt the people in the short run. But in the final analysis, they could prove to be the best decisions that you are taking. So great leaders take strong decisions. They won't mind how the people would take the decision that they've taken, as long as they are convinced in the innermost of their hearts that they are doing the best for the people. They will stand by the decision that they've taken, no matter the pressure from people. In the case of this power, our power problem, see, South Africa generates on the average about 42,000 megawatts. Nigeria is struggling to generate less than 4,000 megawatts. And we call ourselves the giant of this of the continent.
Africa.
Now, what is the main energy source for South Africa? It is coal. Brazil generates in excess of 100,000 megawatts. What is the source? It is hydro. They are exploiting the Amazon River, you know. So in our own case, it has pleased God to bless us with all kinds of sources.
So many.
Ekop was talking about resources in abundance. We have coal, we have hydro, we have wind, we have solar. You go to some parts of Jigawa and even Bauchi State, extremely hot. So that's solar wasting away.
Yes.
We are not doing that. The world is moving towards what is called the renewable energy or off-grid.
Yeah.
Off-grid power supply.
Yeah.
I was told about an airport in India that runs 24 hours on solar.
Yes, solar. Yes.
The airport running on solar.
So many, yes.
So what are we talking about?
But Lagos State Secretariat is on solar, and so it tells you it is possible.
It is possible.
It is possible.
We just, you see, that will has to be there. That strong will to say, okay, this is our goal. We want to electrify 100,000 communities in Nigeria this month.
Yeah.
And then you
And
provide them those alternative energy sources, you make it possible.
And the people
You
will
roll
be
it
willing-
out, and
the
it's cheap.
people will be
They
willing
will
to
pay for it. They will pay.
Yeah.
You see, our people will pay if they are certain that, look, this supply of electricity is going to be constant. They are not going to be cheated. But what do we have with the discourse? NEC was defending the discourse the other day by saying, oh, they suffer from insecurity. Some of them can't recover the debts that they are being owed because of insecurity and all that. It is not the fault of the average Nigerian that we have this problem. The average Nigerian wants this problem solved. Yeah, but the average Nigerian wants electricity supply. We keep increasing tariff without the people getting the commensurate service delivery.
Yeah.
That is everybody knows that, yes, we have issue with inflation. We have issue with, sourcing for foreign exchange. Those problems are there. We know that in our country, prices have been going up rapidly in the last few months. Those problems are there, we admit. But who will be happy to pay for electricity that is not supplied? Let's face it, in 8 years, we have suffered more than 140 grid collapses.
Yeah, okay. We're joined now by Peter. Peter is in Bauchi State. Peter, I greet you. Good evening to you.
Good evening, Cecilia Jones, sir.
I greet you, yeah. Welcome.
Yeah, good evening. I'm the first caller to this program, although I've been trying for the past years.
You are not the last. Go on. You won't be.
You won't be the last.
I'm the first caller.
All right, then.
Where there is so much solar potential.
Yes, sir. I want to contribute with the discussion we are having right now. I've just discovered that Mr. Mojeed, the orator himself, I've been watching him for the past years, and I've been willing, praying to have him get across to him. The problem we are facing in Nigeria is just the issue of corruption. And I've said this all the time that any country that is involved in corruption can never get anything right in life. That is what Nigeria.
Agree with you.
Be it security, be it electricity, be it anything in this country, they can never get anything right except and only they solve the issue of corruption in Nigeria. That's the way we are facing.
Peter, thank you very kindly.
I'll be willing to take.
Thank you very much.
Keep in the issue of security that Obadiah has been.
Insecurity.
All right, Ekop, hear this. I never knew until recently we had over 400 textile factories in this country. And do you know they have almost all of them shut down because there is no electricity?
Replaced by churches.
And many of them were in Kaduna, Kano.
And do you know that just say each textile factory engages about 5,000 workers.
Yes.
Multiply that. So that tells you, in a nutshell, how many people are out of jobs. So electricity is not something we should, spill milk over it.
I'm worried about the way we talk about, not opening up completely that electricity sector. can we allow as many private individuals that want to go into the sector and have the ability to do, and then
by exception, still following the same logic, if we allow every state to generate,
exactly,
if it is
as you have ability, you go into it.
I agree with you. Even we shouldn't even leave it to states alone. If individuals can provide electricity,
it's a private company, private enterprise. You do it.
Who are the owners of? We have generating companies. Are they not individuals that own them? Davido's father is chairman of two of those power generating companies, or motor show. So individuals can provide electricity for communities if they have the wherewithal. So why not?
You allow them.
We've got to deregulate that sector, open up the sector, enable people to provide electricity for a fee. They'll be happy.
But do you know, there always will be problem with transmission. If you generate, how do you transmit? Because
once it is opened up now,
off-grid.
If they open it up now, a lot of them will be off-grid.
Yes.
There will be off-grid electricity. So,
my state, for instance, generates from Ikorobasi 101 megawatts. But I hear they empty all of that into the national grid.
No, that's the law.
We have the problem because it is not completely.
Once you generate above 50 megawatts, then it goes to
national grid.
Yeah, no, other states too build power plant, even rivers too. And then in Ilorin, in Gomo, there's a power plant that Bukola Saraki completed after those people handling the IPP left. But because electricity is on the exclusive list, what the law says is whatever is generated, once it's above a particular threshold, it goes to the national grid where it will then be distributed.
But if you generate 25 megawatts, how do you keep it within your state?
You can, as long as it's not up to what your state would need will be more than 25 megawatts.
At least 50 megawatts.
So you are then compelled to push it to the national grid. And the painful thing is that you may not even, that state.
Almost nothing comes back.
Yes, that's the thing. My parents live in Ilorin. They don't enjoy light. And there's a power plant there.
You see, what I see is that.
Well, sorry, my people say the man will live near water. They get drinking water for house.
It happen. It happen.
If we do what we did in the telecom sector, then we do not have any reason to complain.
Yes.
Open it completely. Throw it open and allow people to bid and go.
So who is afraid of
those who will be able to survive the operations, they have genuine business going. Those who cannot, then the business will collapse. How many media houses, how many newspaper magazines have we set up and then
in Lagos, we have talked about it here. Many media houses.
We have to take a look at that law and do something.
Those companies that can survive, they go. They survive. Those
many media houses don't go 24 hours anymore. They shut down.
Of course. Before diesel.
That is it.
Diesel moved within a few months from 225 naira per liter to 750. It's 750. That's the best bargain that you get, 750. So now look at how people are suffering. I stayed in an hotel in Maiduguri. You know what they were doing? They will give you light from 8 p.m. to 8. They'll give you light from 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. So there was a particular day that 8 p.m. they still hadn't given me light. I had to do my YouTube program, Issues with Jide. At a point, it was getting dark. I had to open the hotel window.
Get some light.
So get some light. People would notice that towards the end of the program, it was getting dark. And here was the anchor, not in a hurry to end the program. Even when he could see that the place was already like pitch darkness. So who can afford 750 per liter and be running? And Boko Haram
as the anchor to end, because that's
Boko Haram destroyed the transmission lines. They've not had light in Maiduguri for over a year. So you don't blame those hotels. They can't run on 24 hours diesel.
We have made the point, open up that sector because it is not impossible, and allow people to take advantage. Well, Eko, many thanks for the salvage service you did.
Citizens, thank you very much.